The first questions for today relate to this spinner over here. Now that spinner has got seven different sections. And so the total, and they're numbered from 1 to 7. Now the first question is asking you, what is the sample space? The sample space is a collection of all of the elements on that spinner. So what you need to do is inside two brackets is write all of those numbers from 1 to 7 with a comma between them. Now the next question is asking us for the probability of getting a 6 if we spin it. Now for all of our probabilities, it's going to be how many instances there are of the number we're looking for divided by the total number of numbers on the spinner. So all of our probabilities are going to be a fraction out of 7. They're all going to have 7 on the bottom. So that first one, B, you're working out how many 6s there are on that spinner and you're sticking it above that fraction. Now the next one is asking us for the probability of spinning an 8. Now what I will notice is that there is no number 8 on that spinner. So what is the probability? What are our chances of getting an 8 is what you will put above that 7, and then if you can simplify that further, you will. The next one is asking us for the probability of either a 2 or a 4. So you're looking to see in total how many 2s and 4s are on that spinner. Have a look at your sample space, which hopefully you've already filled in to be able to work out those numbers. Put it over 7. Now these last ones, I'm not going to put it over a fraction, but you're going to continue to put it over a fraction. The E, this one here, the fifth one, is asking you for how many of those numbers in your sample space from 1 to 7 are even. So the probability of even, so the number of even ones is going to go above that 7. F is asking you for odd, so the number of odd numbers in that 1 to 7, you're going to put above that 7. And then the last one is asking you to give an example of an event that would have a probability of 1. So you can put anything down there. I'm going to let you think about it. You write a sentence or a symbol, etc., just for a question that would give you an answer of 100% or a probability of 1. Okay, so now we look at this second question here. So this is the second one we're looking at. All of this was in relation to this up here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to move this up and we're going to have a look at the second question. Now this second question is, what we can do is we can have the probability of getting something will be how many instances there are out of the total number of chances. Now not getting it is going to be everything else. So it's always going to be 1 or 100% minus what the chance is of getting it. So for instance, if we are rolling a dice, which is this question up here is asking us to roll a dice. Now that first square is saying that we have a probability of getting a 1 out of 6 in rolling a 3. So the probability that we don't get a 3, this here is saying not. What is this column, this whole column, is asking us what's the probability of not getting it. So in this case, that'll be 5 out of 6. And then the last column is asking us the sum of two numbers, the sum of the two things, and that is always going to be 1. Okay, so you can pretty much file answers in a 1 down that column. And so you're going to draw in your book a table like this, and what you're going to do is you're going to fill in our 4 rows, and you're going to have, you can simply have, you can leave out the event at the top. You can simply put 3 there for rolling a 3. You put your probability in here, it's going to be out of 6, and then put your probability in here of not getting it. Again, it's going to be out of 6, so that's not, that's get, and here is what we're looking for. All right, now over here is our the sum. So it's get plus not, get plus not. And as I said, that's always going to be equal to 1, because if you have something or if you don't have something, then you can only have either of those two options. So the next thing is asking if you toss a coin, you get a H, a head from a coin. What's the probability of getting it? What's the probability of not getting it? What is the total probability? This one here, rolling a dice, 2 or 5. The probability of getting a 2 or 5. Now, it's already given you that is 2 out of 3. That was because in the first place, a 2 or a 5 it's given you the probability that the event does not occur is 2 out of 3. Now that started off as 4 out of 6 because there were 4, because there's 4 that aren't a 2 or a 5, and there's 6 in total. And then what they did was, so once they got the 4 on 6, you put that in your calculator using that A, B, C button and push equals, and that will simplify that for you to 2 on 3. Give us a simplified fraction. So do the same thing when you're working out this one. Once you've worked out how many there are out of 6, put that as a fraction to your calculator and see if it simplifies. And then this column over here, as we said, is simply the total. This one here is the total. Right, now last thing is, it's asking us to select a letter from a word which has got 5 letters in it, okay? Now it's asking us to get a vowel. Now a vowel, we're looking for an E or an A. Now I appreciate that this one might be difficult for you, but you've got to look at those letters, work out, count up how many letters there are, put that on the bottom of your fraction, and then for this first column here, it's going to be how many letters we've got over here on top of the total. The next one will be how many we haven't got, and then the last one will be adding it up. And that's probably all. The very last one is, well, the next two are asking us questions. So B is saying the probability of getting something is 3 on 13. What is the probability of not? Write that down there. Remember that the 3 on 13 plus the not have to add up to 1. And the last question is asking you if your probability of spinning and getting a blue one is 4 on 7. So to get it, probability is 4 on 7. What is the probability of not getting it? So again, you need to work out what you wouldn't get.